Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. On the main screen of hawaiiinformation.com, you will see a pink arrow, and it is pointing to the member login. This is where you click to take you to the login section. Now, you may or may not have been assigned a username and password at this point, but when you do get assigned one, they go right in here, and then you click Login to Research 6. Now, before I click Login, I want to point out something. On the left-hand side, there's important documents over here for you to take a look at, and one of them is called Data Status. Data Status. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This will tell you how current the public records are. Okay, so each county has different agencies that they contribute information to our system, so it's not all across the board the same. So in regards to the assessed values, they all reflect the year 2017. But in regards to land court conveyance and regular system conveyance, okay, those are two different ways of recording documents in the state. You should remember that from real estate school. And so you can see they are both as of May the 10th. Sometimes those differ. And if you've attended the orientation, you also probably will recall that I mentioned the documents are keyed in twice. One is the conveyance tax certificate, the CTC, and the other document that is keyed in by a separate person is the actual recorded deed, quitclaim deed, whatever transferred the ownership. Now, those two documents are recorded, then they're cross-referenced to make sure that the dates and the amounts match, okay? So if they don't, then it's kicked out and they can research it and figure out what the problem was. So that's why sometimes we will have two different dates here for land court and regular conveyance. Let's see. Oh, it does say Maui 2017 assessments coming soon. Excuse me. Taxes are calculated using the 2016/17 tax rates. Building data is shown here where the pink arrow is pointing, and that just depends on when we get the update from the different counties. Down at the very bottom is state information, Hawaii state information. The DCCA provides weekly BREGs and PVL data, okay? So just want to keep you updated on how current the status of our public records is. And you may find that you're looking for a property that just sold and you can't find it. You can't find the transfer date or it's not showing up. You can always check the data status and figure out, oh, that's because they haven't caught up to that date yet. That's why it's not showing up in there. Okay, so once again, that is located over here to the right, data status. Okay, let's go ahead and log into research and we'll proceed from there. Now, the Getting Started webinar, it pretty much covers everything that you see on this page here, okay? We're going to look at, even if we don't go into great detail, we're going to stop by and look and visit every little clickable link that you see on this page right here. So once you are logged into research, let me close a couple of these windows so I can make sure that I see what you're seeing. Okay, once we're logged in, it tells you right here that you're in research, real estate search, and it says welcome, and then it has your name. Now I'm logged in as a trainer, so it just says trainer demo. If I click on my name, trainer demo, or you would click on your name, you will reveal, what will be revealed to you is I call it the big button menu because it's big giant buttons. So I call it the big button menu. And we will go through the things on the big button menu and we'll come back to this, okay? To close out of the menu, there's two ways. You can click the close menu, the big red X button, or you could have just clicked anywhere outside of that big button menu. It also then gives you the date and the time. Now, nothing's wrong with the clocks, okay? I am located on the East Coast right now, where I'm broadcasting this webinar from, and that's why it's got my time at 4:40, okay? And you guys are in the beginning of the day. Okay, and then the search and the recent tabs. These are going to be explored when you take the basics of searching class. So you will revisit those at a later time. Over to the far right, in this dark grayish charcoal gray area. By the way, the charcoal gray area is the distinction line between the browser and our software. Okay, so our software runs starting from the dark charcoal gray all the way down to this point. Okay, so wherever anything in between belongs to research. The other areas, such as the light gray area and these tabs across the top that you see, these are for your browser. And perhaps you're not even seeing those, and that could be, hold on, let me get back on here. That could be because you are hiding your browser at the top. F11. If you ever accidentally hit F11, I believe most browsers will use that function key F11, and it will wipe out the headers at the top. To get them back, don't worry, just hit F11 again. And you could do that right now because I'm sure you're looking at this via some kind of a browser, except for a smartphone or a tablet. I'm talking about a computer, laptop type situation, F11. Okay, so with that being said, let's keep going along the top. Now you see a little basket. It looks like a shopping cart. Okay, that is actually referred to as the basket. When you begin your searching and finding things like photos and maps and listings and public records information, we will teach you how you can put some of that information into the basket and then access that basket later on. So you can have like a accumulation of things that you can toss into the basket, and then it kind of just temporarily stores it for you. Once you log out of the system or close out of your browser, then the basket's wiped out. So it's just a temporary place to throw some things. Kind of like the clipboard would be if you're copying and pasting, except the basket is a lot more advanced than that. All right, basics of searching will teach you how to use the basket. The next icon over is called Connect. If you hover your mouse over any of these icons, a little black pop-up window, just a small little help window, will appear, and it tells you what the function of that icon is. So the Connect, let me click on Connect, and I'll show you what that looks like. So in the event that you called our technical service line and they are trying to assist you because you're having difficulties, something's not working right on your computer, you keep clicking something, you get a blank page, they may request access to your computer. And if you agree to let one of our technicians access your computer, they're going to tell you to go to the Connect button. And if you can't remember where it is, that's okay, they'll tell you. But when you click on the Connect button, you could enter your name, and then they are going to give you a support key number that goes in here. And then when you click Continue, you are allowing them to connect. And there's another question, I believe, that happens after this, where you have to say, yes, give access of my keyboard and mouse, I believe, to the HIS person. Of course, you would never want to do this in an unsolicited event. So in the event that someone asks for this and you didn't initiate the request, even if someone calls and said they're from HIS, can I have you hit connect? Just don't do it unless it's something that you initiated. If they're following up on a problem that you had or that kind of thing, you can confirm that that's truly who they are. We wouldn't want anyone to maliciously access your computer. So, all right, let's go back. I'm going to have to turn on my screen again, and we will go back to research. The next icon over is a little help. Okay, so I love help. Absolutely love it. I'm going to click on help. It's going to open up another browser window for me. And because I have them hidden, there we go. So here's the browser window that says Hawaii Information Service Help. And that we have some help videos. There's a few of them out there. Some videos that you can watch. We have clickable help here for MLS. So new agent information, 6 training videos, what is the best browser configuration, and how do you maintenance your browser, like how do you clear your cache and things like that. So that's help with the MLS. Here's some basic help with TMK. These are things that people, you know how you know you need help, but you're not even sure what you need, what kind of help you need because you don't know enough about the system yet. That's what these links are for, training videos and links, collections, and then we have MLS rules and regulations, which you've talked about a couple of times in the orientation, and then training. I believe this is our training schedule. You can also access our knowledge base by simply clicking in this box here and typing in a word. So say that you sat down to do some labels today and you took the webinar for labels, but it's been 6 months ago. You can't remember how in the world Andrea told you what to do. So just type in label and click on the search, or it will eventually bring up some associated help pages that have to do with labels, and you can click on the creating labels. You could do the how to download labels, this sort of has something to do with labels, but you just look through the list and see if you found something that has to do with your topic. And actually we even have user submitted questions sometimes, so, or FAQs, frequently asked questions. So once you find the topic that you think you need, you can click on it and it will open up the help page for that topic. And this is what I love about help, because I learn best by graphics. I learn best by watching as opposed to reading a bunch of text. I've always been that way. So we not only provide the text answers step by step, we also provide screenshots with big red boxes and arrows and things for you to follow along. Okay? So I love it. It's just wonderful. It's just, you can read what to do here, and then it also points to what you're supposed to do. So I just really absolutely love the help. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the help and point out, I'm not sure if this particular help menu has that or not. It doesn't on this one, but you can leave a reply. So if this didn't quite answer your question, or it did to a certain extent, but now you have a new question, and you can always leave a reply, and someone in HIS will be reading those and following up. Okay? Now, these are tags. So if you're looking at labels, but now, oh gosh, I've got the label part down, but how do I print those again? You know, you can click on the printing. It'll take you to the help of the printing. So it's just different labels where you can then click to different areas of help. Okay? So please explore the help. I think you'll find it helpful. All right, let's go back to Research 6. And we will take a look at the next icon over. So we've looked at help. The next icon over is called pause. So it's just like if you were watching a DVD, and if anyone even watches those anymore. Most people stream, I think. But even on streaming, you do have a pause. So you click on the pause button, and it just basically pauses research, okay? That allows you the opportunity to leave your workstation, go grab a cup of coffee, use the restroom, grab a sandwich, whatever you need to do, come back, and instead of having to log back in, all you simply have to do then is click continue, okay? Now, If you're at a shared computer, you definitely want to hit pause as a courtesy to the next person. So say you're at the front desk and somebody, and you walk away to go use the restroom, and somebody walks in the door and they need help. So the next person, the next agent that's on duty will come up and assist the person. So all they have to do then is to click login using a different name, immediately takes them to the login screen, allows them the ability to log in as their own, and a seamless transition there, okay? So that's real helpful if you're using a shared computer. In the event that you come back and no one had to log in, then all you have to do is click continue and you're back online. So that's what the pause does. The next icon is the log out. So those of you that have been hitting the red X in the upper right corner of your browser screen, it's not a red X anymore, it used to be. When you hover over it, it turns red. But this X will close out all the browser windows, okay? In the event that you are actually just exiting research, you can click this as a log out, and it will log you out of the system and bring you back to HIS main login screen here. When you hit the X in the upper right corner, it closes the entire browser and all your other tabs that you have open, possibly other web pages that you have running. We do ask that you do use this log out if you can remember to do so, because it's a seamless exit out of our database, and it's a nice clean exit, and they prefer that you use that if you can, okay? If you can't, that's fine. Then you have your toggle menu. Let me show you what this does. So the toggle menu command, you'll see this a lot now on websites. They've really changed the look of a lot of websites, not just HIS, but across the board. And so I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I open up a web page and I cannot figure out where to find a menu of items or anything, because it's all so basic and simple looking. It's like everything's simplified again. So if you see these three lines across, they tell me that that's referred to as the hamburger in the world of programming, okay? So that's the hamburger icon. And I prefer to call it the veggie burger, but whatever. Okay, so you click on the three lines and watch what happens over here on the left-hand side of my screen. Click, and it toggles the menu off, okay? So the default is that it's on until you turn it off. Now what happens if you want to access items on the menu now that you've turned it off? All you have to do is move your mouse over into the area of the menu and it slides out, conveniently slides out. And you're thinking, well, why in the world would you want it to go away? Because if you look at the size of your screen now, you are able to use all of this real estate over here, and things are stretched out. They're not so confined and shrunken, which is better on the eyes. But watch what happens when I turn the menu back on by clicking the veggie burger. All this kind of scrunches in, right? And now I can see the menu items plus everything else on my screen I can still see, but it's smaller. So basically it just gives you more area to work. Some people like to have it toggled off, and some people like to have it on all the time. Okay, for class purposes, I'll leave it on. Okay, so that takes care of exploring everything across the top. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play. I'm going to just pretend you didn't see that menu open there. I just collapsed something. Now we're going to play with things on the left-hand side on the toggle menu, the one that slides in and out. Okay, so the first thing you can look at is your information here, because it says trainer, so it would say your name when you're logged in. And if you click on that, it opens up the big button menu again. Okay, so let's start exploring this big button menu now. So if you recall, there's two ways to call that big button menu up. One is by clicking your name here, And the other way is by clicking your name here. All right. So my profile, this is something that you definitely want to visit, one of the first things that you're going to explore when you first get your login. Click on my profile. This is the information about you. It's your phone numbers, your address, what you want to keep confidential and what you don't, what you're willing to share in regards to public, okay? So if I didn't want folks to see my home phone number on the public website, then I would mark it as confidential. Same thing with fax, direct number, if I had a mobile, pager, all that kind of stuff. Pager, can you believe that? Who has a pager? That's hilarious. I'm going to talk to them about that. I don't think anyone carries a pager anymore. I might be mistaken, but anyway. So your email address, make sure it's valid and working, that it's spelled correctly, because this is what people will click on when they see your listings or your name profile on the public website. So you want to make sure that that works. You could even give yourself a little test email to see. Now, when you have a website, or if you have a website, congratulations. For new agents that are just starting out, you've got to get a website. So eventually, you will have a website, and when you do, you put it in here, and it will be shared as a link, a clickable link on the public website, on all of your listings that show up on the public website. And the one I'm talking about is alohaliving.com. It will also show up internally when other agents search for your information in the agent database part of our MLS. But one thing I want to point out is when you put your website address in, be sure to put the entire link, okay, the entire URL, because that will create a link and not just text. So when the system sees the http:// www. whatever, it knows that it's a link. Okay, so make sure you put the full URL in. Address, and this can be any address for you. It can be your home address, it can be your business address, it can be a P.O. box. It's where you want to receive your mail. Now, some brokerage firms make you put your business address as your address here. So check with your broker and see if there's any protocol for that. And that's the address that'll show up in the database, okay? Also on the public website. Here's all the phone numbers. I've already kind of looked at those a minute ago. Internet, these are the internet contact methods, including your social media. So when someone's looking at a listing and they see 3 of these, say they see a blog, they see a Facebook link, and they see a Twitter link, okay? Those are the ones that I use or used. So those would be social media links on every single listing of yours, so they can click on it and it will unite you to on Facebook, or I'm not sure exactly what it does on Twitter. You'll have to play with that and see. But it might take, it probably takes them to your Twitter profile, that kind of thing. So be sure to be utilizing all your social media that you can. You'd be surprised how many people take your listing and share it. All the better, huh? They're sharing it with a bunch of people you would have never met. So here's your preferences. What method of communication do you prefer? If we're talking about a phone, which phone do you prefer? Which fax do you prefer? Then you can put in your subscriber type, your board, your membership ID, which is not mandatory or anything. Primary territory where you work, and then your license number, etc. there. Okay, and none of that stuff's mandatory to put in, but it's there if you'd like to. Alrighty, back to the big button menu. Oh, before we do that, wait. If you make any changes, very important to scroll down and click the Save button, because you don't want to make these changes and then have them not save. So be sure to click Save. Most of our screens have a Save button at the bottom, and lots of times it's in blue. So I'm going to go back to the big button menu by clicking on my name, and let's take a look at settings. Okay, now settings, I don't expect you to understand most of these right now, because if this is getting started as a webinar oriented for new agents, oriented to an audience of new agents, and you may not have ever even logged in yet, and that's okay. But what I want you to take away from this class is at least you know there are some settings that you can establish and you can change things on, and I just want you to remember where to access that, okay? So once again, it was under the big button menu up here, and then you click on settings. Now, there is usually more than one way to do something in our MLS system, which I happen to like, because some people prefer to do it that way. I prefer to access settings from down here on the slide out menu. It does the same thing when you click on this. It takes you to the same place. And eventually, towards the end of the webinar, I'll show you another place where you can access settings. So, yippee! All right. So what we're looking at here is search display options. I'm going to click on it. We're not really going to talk much about it, just that when you start searching and information is being displayed on your screen, it will be in certain formats, how you're looking at the information. It might be an MLS format, meaning a listing. It might be in TMK format, meaning you're looking at the public records for that TMK number. So that's what these are referring to, some of these different formats and some display options that come hand in hand with these formats. And I promise you, when you take the Basics of Searching class, we will come back and play with these, okay? Just know where they are. Settings and display options. Formats. And if you don't know by now, formats has to do with how the data is displayed on the screen, or if you were to print it off, or if you were to mail it, email it. That is the same thing as a format. So you could be looking at, looking up an address, and that particular address has 3 MLS numbers associated with it because it's been listed 3 times. It also has public records information associated with that address. So there's a lot of different ways you can be looking at the information for that address, and those are called formats. So this will approach when you take an advanced class. We will show you how to create your own formats or reports, however you want to phrase it. Printing, this one's going to be easy. You guys should completely understand this just by reading it. But I'll give you an example. I am particularly wordy when I do a listing, and you get to use up to 2,000 characters in the public remarks section of your listing, and there are numerous times where I went and used all 2,000 characters. So if you're going to be printing off one of my old listings, it's probably going to roll over to a second page, okay, because I'm too wordy. So in that event, you get the choice here. Do you want, say you're printing off 5 listings for somebody, and Andrea's listing is a page and a half, and everybody else's is a half a page. So do you want the next listing in order to appear at the bottom of my second page, or do you want it to start at the top of a new page? That's basically what that's asking. And then we have prospect notifications. I'm not going to say a word about this because this is dealt with in the prospecting class. So the only thing I'm going to say about it is sign up for prospecting, and you'll get to learn all about this. The next item is clear email history, and we will explore that during the prospecting webinar. Okay? Again, I just kind of want you guys to know that you can set certain settings up, and these settings are tied to your login, okay? You get to change them for yourself, however you like to do things in the system. And until you learn those functions, they aren't going to make any sense. So lister brochure, we actually go over this in the formats class. The next item is text map file preference. We review that in the mapping class. I'm not sure which mapping class it is. There's mapping 1 and mapping 2, but somewhere in there we talk about text map file preferences. Then we have our MLS mid format, keyword format. So when you take the formats class, We'll explore that. Oh, you guys already know about this one, the veggie burger. So if you click on navigation, basically you can set the default that when you sign in for the day, okay, you sign in, is it going to leave this menu open and, visual, or is it going to hide it, okay? So is it going to be visible or is it going to be hidden? And if it's hidden, you know how to access it. If it's hidden, like so, you just move your mouse over into this area and the menu will slide out, okay? Easy breezy. Okay, next item is Street View. I have to look at this one, I can't remember. Okay, show Street View in a modal. Show Street View in a new window or tab. Okay, so when you're working with the maps, you will have the ability to see Street View. And if you've ever played around with Google Maps, I'm sure everybody has, many times you can actually land right in the middle of the street, turn around, look around, go forward, go backwards on the street, go to a cross street, turn right. So you get the actual Google Street View there. And I've seen the Google vehicle driving around taking pictures. I've also seen where subdivisions were in Google with Street View and then they weren't. And it must have had to do with something, roads being private or something. So that was interesting. Okay, map layout. Again, I'm sure you're going to realize that we will look at this in the maps class, but a lot of these are really self-explanatory. Basically, when you're looking at maps and you have results up on your page, like a search results, right? Say you did, show me all the active listings in Kona Paradise, okay? So then there's the map showing all the active listings, and here's all the results, the MLS listings themselves. So if you like this view, the map's going to be on top, the results below. If you prefer this view, results on top, maps below. Maybe you like the portrait style where the map's on the left and the results on the right, or results on left, map on right, okay? However you like to see it. Now, once you select, don't forget, if you've changed anything, you got to save your changes. Saving. Okay, customize research email. We go through this, and it is a tad bit complicated. It's not too hard, but it is a little bit complicated, and we go through this in the prospecting class. I will show you in the prospecting class, or any of our instructors will, show you how to create your own signature file. You can put fancy stuff in there. My signature file used to contain a picture of me, and, oh no, not a picture, it was a caricature, so it was a JPEG file. It used to contain links to my blog, links to my website, links to my email address, and it used to have different colored font for certain parts of my signature file. So you can make it fancy, or you can just make it plain text. Then we have my headshot and logo. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one now. So my headshot and logo. If you have the ability for your company to upload a logo, then you would probably see this. If you do not, which most people probably don't have access to the office logo, either your principal broker or your office manager, somebody will have access to do that. And if you don't have a company logo out there yet, why don't you show them how to do that? Because I think there's still a handful of companies that don't have their logo posted, and that shows up on all of their listings on the public website, so encourage them to put their logo. Now, headshot. This is where you get to choose a file from your hard drive. Okay, now if you're using a tablet, you would choose it from your photos, your saved photos on your tablet. Now, please note, we have a file size limit of 120K. So most people take pictures a lot larger than that. You're going to have to reduce your photo. So you may need a graphics program. If you can't do that on your own, probably there's 2 or 3 people in your office that are really good with photo editing or something. Have them help you resize your photo so that it's no larger than 120K. Now let me find a photo of mine so that I can try to show you how easy this is. I need to move one over to make it easy to find. Where the hell? Oh, there. It's probably under here. And I might have to do a caricature because I don't know. Oh no, this one's small. I might be able to use this one. Okay, so I could, oh, there it goes. I could add my photo. So all I had to do was choose a file. So I browsed through my folders, found a file, clicked on upload. Here it is. Now, if I don't click Save Changes, it's not going to save it, okay? So, and I'm not going to save it because this is a shared account. We should put a photo in here of us 3 trainers so that you could see what we look like, but and actually I don't really look like that anymore. That was about 10 years ago. I look a little older. That's another thing. Keep updating your headshot. I'll never forget. It just hurt my feelings, but it was funny too. But I remember it hurting my feelings. I thought, oh my gosh. You know, starting to age, my hair was graying, that kind of thing. And before I started coloring it a little bit. Now, I don't color it at all. It's completely white now. But I had a photograph out there that was a couple years old, okay, not too old, but I remember overhearing a broker at a caravan or something saying, oh, her photo looks like her high school photograph. And I was like, oh my God, I got to change my photograph. Okay. Anyway, keep those updated. And I would stay away from glamour shots. All right, so syndication. That's the next item on the settings, syndication. This is really up to your broker. So your primary principal broker may select where their listings are distributed beyond the MLS and IDXs. So once you put a listing in research, you know for sure that it's going to be in our MLS, and it's also going to go out to all the IDX subscribers. Okay, and as a reminder, IDX is Internet Data Exchange, and it allows a person to have our MLS on their website, fully searchable, all active listings, etc. Okay, so beyond that, your principal broker will be able to indicate here where they want their listings to go. Enough said about that. Political. Okay. Now, MLS photo brochure format is similar to this one, and we'll go over that in the formats class. Search count, we're going to talk about when we do basics of searching. Dashboard refresh, we will come back to that today. So let's just let that lie for now. Email and roster download. This is probably something you're going to want to take care of right away. And it's going to take me a moment to explain it to you. But what this is it right now, once your profile is loaded and you have an email address in our system, an agent or a subscriber, let's say, a subscriber can copy all of the email addresses in the roster and download those and import them into their computer so that they can turn around and send out like mass emails. So there are folks who like to send out mass emails that say new listing, you know, take a look at this, make sure you see my new listing, price reduction, don't forget folks, I reduced the price on this listing, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know about you guys, I actually I can teach you how to do that. It's a class called the roster download. And so we have a class on how to do that. But we also have the ability for people to turn that off. So in other words, if you do not want other agents downloading your email address and then blasting you with emails all the time, then you can opt out by clicking email and roster download and either putting show my email, which I think the default is show. You'd have to change it to hide. And then therefore, when they go to download all the email addresses, yours will not be a part of that. So if you, oh, by the way, if you made a change here of hide, don't forget to click save over here in the far right corner. Somewhere over here. I've got a lot of windows on my screen right now, so I can't get to it right now, but there you go. Okay, so we are in settings. You should be able to tell me 2 places that you can go to access settings. And one of them is on this menu here, on the slide out menu. The other one is here. Actually, there's 3 places, right? Okay, here it is. And then the last one is up here. Oh, no, that's the big button menu. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Got a little sidetracked. Settings. I'm a little puzzled as to why my picture is still there. Sorry about that. I kind of wandered for a minute. So my picture is still there. Let me go back to settings and see. Sometimes that happens. It's probably just in the cache, and it's maybe not really there. So let's see. Settings, and go to my headshot and logo. No, that's what it is. It's not even allowing me to get in there. Okay, so what this is my headshot and logo, but it's actually talking about email address. So whenever things start getting squirrely like this for you, see how it's happening to me? My headshot and logo would be where I can upload the logo here. And okay, something's not right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and log out. Voila. And see if we can get ourselves logged out of the system. And that doesn't seem to be wanting to work. So I am going to go ahead and, oh, it is kind of slowly working. It says it's, see, if you look down on your bottom of your screen, lots of times you can see a little message down there waiting for something to happen. Okay, so if you get impatient like I do, you can try closing that window. And if that doesn't work, you can try actually closing down all of the open windows. And that could be what the problem is. Maybe I have too many open at the same time. So let me just start over. And you can also switch browsers. I'm kind of stuck on Chrome, so I'm going to stay there. Oh, Jerry wants to know how to add his picture. Okay, let's show you. Let me log back in. Okay, member login. I wonder if something is happening with research right now. Very interesting. It's not even allowing me to go. Let me try a different browser. I don't know how updated my Internet Explorer is, but we can try that. The other thing is I don't know if I know my password. Your research is working? Okay, good to know, Jerry. Let me see if it's just me over here. The problem is I might have to recover my password. Let's see. Is anyone else having delays or issues with their research? If anyone's checked to see, let me know, because I am having some difficulties here. There we go. Okay, give me a moment. I should have my login somewhere. Sorry, folks. I wasn't anticipating on having to use a different browser. That's what you get when you don't remember your password and you let the system remember it for you. Then you get stuck like this. So it's not a good idea to do that. Okay, let me, I'm going to turn off my screen for a moment because I have a back way of getting in. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment, but I'm still here. So give me just a minute to find my password. And perhaps even Chrome might work for me too. Oh, good. It's coming back. Yay. Okay. I'm going to go right back into it using Chrome because it came up just fine, no problems. Okay. Whew. That was crazy. Now, Jerry, thank you for your question. And thank you for your comment that your research is working. Mine's working now too. Yay. Okay. Go to Settings. And then we're going to visit My Headshot logo. Yay! And there is my face. And you would load yours from Choose File. And then you'd browse your directories and your folders and find a picture. Can't be larger than 120K. And then once you find it, you click Upload Now. And voila, you have a headshot. And I think to get rid of it, I should hit my red X. Yes, okay. Very good. And I need to do that because, like I said, this is a shared account. This is not just solely my account. Okay, wonderful. Now we have this very generic picture there. That's fine. We'll work with that. Okay. That was settings, and here's our settings. Now, we've gone through all the settings. Let us now go back to dashboard. So just a moment here, and we're going to go back and take a look at okay. When I click dashboard, it should be taking me back to the dashboard, and there we go. So now we're going to explore everything here in the middle, and then we'll come back to our slide out menu. So over here, we have quick search. And quick search allows you to enter an MLS number or an address. So let's try an MLS number. Okay, I can put an MLS number in and I can click the search and it immediately takes me to the TMK number here, the last sale. So if I were to click on that, it would show me the last sale report. I can click on the MLS number to take me to the listing. I can click on this little icon. It would take me to the tax map. And then this little icon takes me to the general overview map. Okay, so that is called a quick search match. Very quickly, it brought me to all those links. Okay, let me wipe that out. You can do that with a tax key, an MLS number, or an address. So if you put let's see, let me try putting in a tax key number, and hopefully, let me just try this. Okay, there's public records, clickable link, the address, the owner, last sale, tax map, and map. Okay, same kind of links, basically. And then you can put in a name. Let me see if I can find, I'm going to cheat real quick and put in this name here. Okay, pretend you didn't see me do that. I'm going to put in this name and see if we can find it. Okay, so it doesn't like that. It's probably, I don't know how you put in a business name. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong column. That's why. This is the column where you put the name in, and I'm not sure how to put it in if it's a business name, so let's just try that. and voila, okay, it worked. So by putting in that owner name in the quick search, it immediately brought up this report for me with the different tax key numbers. Some of them have addresses associated with the tax keys. There's the owner name, the last sale, if it's in our system, and then tax map and map links here. Okie doke. So again, that's just from the quick search. So if you just get into MLS, you need to look at something really quick. You don't need to like search for everything, you know, active in a certain subdivision, or you're just doing a very quick, simple search. You can do it right from here. And then this is the one I use the most, and this is our agent roster search. So let me just pick on somebody. And I'm going to put, oh, I think it requires a comma. Or I used to put in an asterisk, so let's see if the comma works. No, I think it is an asterisk. I need to get them to change that. Yeah, you put it in an asterisk, not a comma. So here's a person, and they're coming up under 2 offices, so I'm a little puzzled by that. But normally you would have one office ID. So maybe it's Julie, I didn't mean to open up a can of worms. And Jerry wants to know, he's asking a question. I paused to look at the question log. How did you get to the quick search page? Okay, excellent question. And that's something that when you, no matter where you are, let me just move somewhere else. Let me go somewhere else. No matter where you are in the system, you can always get back to the home screen, or the dashboard it's called, by clicking on dashboard over here on the left side. The dashboard is the main screen that you access when you first get into the system. So if I were in the settings, for example, like where we were, because I had clicked on settings, and here's our settings. To get back to the dashboard, the little home, I just click right here, dashboard. And if the menu is not visible, right, let me go somewhere real quick, settings. If the menu is not visible, then as a reminder, you just move your mouse over to that area and it will slide out, and then you can access the dashboard. Okay, good question. And let's see. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. Let me try another agent too. We'll just search on somebody else here. Oh, I see. Because the office name changed. Okay, that makes sense. I gotcha. Let me try somebody else here. So what if you know their last name but not their first name? You just type in their last name and then asterisk and leave the rest blank. And then it'll pull up everyone with that last name in our system. And again, this is for the agent roster search. Okay, so, and we have a couple of Jones in here. One of them's an appraiser. Okay, so that's really cool. Now, what if you know their first name, but you don't know their entire last name? Let me try this one again. I'll do her. You see, use the asterisk to separate the two, and now I put in Julie, and any first name that contains an H in it, excuse me, any last name that contains an H in it, and here's all of the Julies that we get out there, okay? So again, just using one letter here, and as long as the last name had an H in it somewhere, and then Julie is the first name. So you can search for agents right here. There's also an agent search screen that we can get to as well. And I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. Now we're back looking at the dashboard, and we've looked at everything in the quick search area. Now we're going to look at today. Today contains today's listing activity. It also contains open houses. which is the next little tab over. It also contains prospect matches for today and listings. So depending on what tab you're looking at, most people keep it on listing activity, but we can look at different things. And again, this is today, things that are happening today, listings that are coming on board today. They might be new listings. They might be something, an existing listing that got put under contract. It might have gotten put contingent. It might be a price reduction. May have been something that's reported sold now. So any changes to listings will appear on the today based upon your searching criteria. Okay, so this is your home screen. You get to set it up how you want to. So for me, I like Ka'u and South Kona. So you can see I am showing North Kona, South Kona, and Ka'u because that's my stomping ground. But let's go ahead and go to the filter by clicking filter and find out where we make these changes. So you can see this is a clickable slide key right here. Okay, so I can go up and down to see my choices. If I want to include all islands, all of the MLS activity today. Now remember, we talked about this previously, that agents from other areas besides Kauai and Big Island can put their listings on our MLS. So if you would like to see if anything on Oahu came on the market today on our MLS, okay, it's not going to show you all of Oahu's listings, only the ones where agents have elected to put it on as a reciprocal agreement onto our MLS. And right now I'm only looking at sales. Okay, I'm only looking at sales. I believe there used to be sales or rentals, but I don't see the rentals option anymore. So, okay, in regards to sales, it's be all types of sales, okay? So that includes business, commercial, condo, land, and also subtypes. So let's say that we only want to see businesses. If we're only looking at businesses on our hot sheet on the dashboard, then it gives me the option of business alone or business with real property included. If I only want to look at commercial, then these are the subtypes for only commercial. But if I'm looking at all types, it'll show me all of the subtypes for all of the major level types. Apartment buildings, businesses, vacant land properties, residential properties, etc. Ownership. What type of ownership do we want to look at? All ownership. As you can see, I have mine set to co-op, CPR ownership, and full. In other words, I don't want to see fractional or timeshare type of ownership listings. Not interested. Tenure. This is where you can set up all tenure, fee interest only, fee simple, or leasehold. So let's leave it on all tenure. If you make changes, don't forget to click Save Changes. So this is the filter area that defines what's going to show up in my today's listing activity every day. Okay? You can always change that. If you hit clear filter, it's going to show you everything, all types of properties, all areas, etc. So these are the listings that have either come on board today, or it looks like they've all price reduced. See the little down arrows? On Oahu. So these are properties on Oahu right here. Okay? And look, their MLS numbers are giant. They're much longer than ours. Let's see if they all have 25 pictures. Some of them do. Nope, 19, 7. I think the Oahu MLS, or it used to limit the photos. You couldn't have 25. They may have changed that by now. Okay, so let's change the filter back to where I would be practicing if I had my realtor hat on today, which would be, I would probably include North Kona, South Kona, and Ka'u. If you're selecting more than one area or more than one type of property, that kind of thing, then you hold down your control key, control key, and it allows you to select more than one. Save changes. Now, how often does this get refreshed? Now, this gets refreshed as often as I advise it. So it automatically refreshes. You notice we had it on Oahu. Now it's showing just stuff in North Kona, South Kona, and Ka'u. And the reason for that is because if you go to settings, we can see our dashboard refresh right here. Dashboard refresh. I'm going to click on that. As you can see, it says automatically refresh every 5 minutes and whenever the dashboard is visited. So every time I go off and do a search and then come back to my dashboard, it's going to automatically refresh my screen for me. Now, some people don't want it to refresh constantly. So you can turn it to this option, which is only refresh the dashboard when I make it refresh. So as a manual thing. It's not going to automatically update it for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back to automatic, and I'll show you if I had changed it to manually only refresh when I want it to. When you go to the dashboard, I'll show you where that is. There's a link right here that says refresh. So at any time you click on that, it will refresh your screen. And if you don't have your dashboard set that it will automatically refresh, then it will not refresh again and show you whatever's new or changed until you actually click on refresh. So if that doesn't make sense or if you have a question, please let me know. And once again, if I'm losing you, because I know this is a lot of information and I'm firing it at you pretty quickly, this webinar is being recorded thanks to the reminder from Jerry, and so you will have the ability to go back and look through this webinar again if needed. Okay, what you're seeing here is today's listing activity. It's called the hot sheet. Some agents that have been around for a while, some of the older realtors, not older necessarily, but ones that have been practicing for a while, may refer to this as the hot sheet. So just keep that in mind. If someone says to you, have you checked the hot sheet today? Oh, there's a new listing on the hot sheet. They're talking about this area. Open houses, guess what? They have their own filter settings. All of these areas have their own filter settings. So you can see what their filters are set to right now. It's all islands and today for sales. So let's take a look at the filters and see what that means. So right now we're looking at, as far as regions go, all of the islands, any open houses that are scheduled for today. But let's click it on the next bubble. I want to see all open houses that are scheduled for the next 7 days. What does that look like? Okay, and because I have it set to automatically refresh, every time I come back to dashboard, it refreshed this for me. So you can see we have 4 open houses scheduled in the next week. Now, chances are that that's not correct. There's probably many, many more scheduled open houses. It's just that the agents have not entered those in the system yet. Now we teach a little short webinar, super short, called Open Houses. So when you're ready to start setting open houses or you're interested in learning on how to do that, just attend one of those webinars. It's really short, like 20 minutes when I teach it. It's real fast. Okay? So refresh, we'll refresh it, and filter, we'll set your filters. If you want to establish a new open house, you click here, but again, we have a webinar to show you how to do that. Now, all of the results that you see right here can be shared, right? You can copy, you can print, you can email, You can put in the basket, or you can PDF, create a PDF out of the results listed above. Now, when you take the Basics of Searching class, we'll go into and show you and display how to use all those functions, okay? But for right now, I'm just pointing them out that they're there. And as a reminder, when you do start dropping stuff in your basket, to access your basket, you click on your little basket up here, okay? Because we did take a look at that icon earlier. Okie doke. Now, what happens if I want to look at my prospect matches today? I simply just click on the tab. There aren't any for today, unfortunately, yet, but there will be probably. So once you start using the prospect feature by establishing saved searches and attaching them to clients' names and email addresses, you can then monitor throughout the day by visiting this section to see if there are any new matches for your prospects today. Okay, so you can keep monitoring that throughout the day if you'd like. And when you take the prospects class, I will show you, this is not the only way to monitor. There's several other ways that you can see, are there any prospect matches for my people today. So, all right, and then my listings. And right now, I don't have any listings. Let's see, active. Okay, I think as a demo account, we might have a couple of dummy listings out here. So let me look at the filter and see what the filter is set on. So right now it's set on active. If I have any listings that are expiring in 30 days, I can view those. Okay. So you can check and see, do you have any listings expiring in the next 30 days? You may want to keep it set to that so that you can look at this every once in a while and go, oh gosh, yeah, I got to get a listing renewal signed or what have you. The other things that you can look at in regards to your listings, these are your own listings. Anything that's sold in the last 365 days, anything that's pending, so that's under contract or contingent, and then anything that's set into preview mode. So when you take the Manage Your Listings class from us, we show you how to enter listings, we show you how to change status, how to load photos, all kinds of good stuff. And we'll talk about these different statuses in that class, okay? So for right now, you can just use your filter for your actives or you're getting ready to expire, what have you. Now what happens if you don't want to see anything here? We give you that option too. See the minus sign? Whenever you see a minus sign in our system, it means collapse. Minus, collapse. Whenever you see the plus sign in our system, that means expand. Expand. So let's expand the news section. So here's the news section, and you can see we get fun stuff. Oh gosh, I haven't visited this yet. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't even looked at it. But anyways, these are newsy bits from research. We keep you informed on things. When there's something new coming to the system, if we're going to have a planned outage because we need to do some maintenance, if there's something new in the system, we try to make an announcement about it. If there's training classes we just posted, voila, the training schedule for May has been posted. That was happened April 26th. And you can go backwards and look at some of our older news to see. Okay? So this is a section of us keeping you informed with HIS news. So I'm going to hit the minus sign to collapse this. And then you can also look at the market. So this is just a basic little like median sales price for condos on Hawaii Island. 275, and that is going, that's the direction that it last moved was upwards. But if you look at the median sales price for residential listings, 340, so it's gone down slightly. Okay? And the same thing goes here for Kauai, condo and res. And so it indicates up or down with a little arrow. Okay, just very brief little, like what's happening right now. Now, let's see. How much time do we have? We have about 15 minutes. Great. So this is the search menu. And if you recall, to open up any menu, you hit the plus sign. These are how you can search for certain things, not just MLS listings. You can search for the roster. You can search for open houses. You can search for my contacts when you start putting people in your address book. You can search for businesses. You can search for licensees, state licensees. This is any licensee. Let's take a look at searching for a licensee. Let's say that I want to find a barbershop. Okay, barbershop. We're just going to pick the first one. And then let's say I want a barbershop in 402, no, I'm sorry, 96704, wrong state, 96704. Okay, now, actually there's probably not going to be any. Let me do 40. Now I'm going to go down and, why are we hiding here? Okay, search now. Sorry about that. The green button, search now at the bottom of your screen, and we should see any registered barbershops in zip code 96740. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that they're all current, but it looks like all these are. And then so it gives you the information, it gives you the licensee under that company name, licensee, and then it has clickable links to their license information. So here's the licensee, and here is the company license for the barbershop. Okay, so that's how you can search licensees. And some of these other searches we're going to go over in basic searching class. Okay. So that's the only one I think of. I'll show you businesses too. So let's search businesses real quick. So the name of a business, okay, when you click outside the box, you type something in, you click outside the box, and it gives you some matching, possible matches. So do we want the Costco Travel? Do we want the Costco Insurance Company? Do we want Costco Wholesale? And then you can see some of these wholesale has further information. Okay. Let's say we're doing this and we're going to be doing our, let's see, so we have all those Costco's in there. Let's make sure that we are looking at actives, not ones that have been terminated or consolidated or what have you. So here's the two Costco's that show up. And you can click on the file number to get further details about the registered business. Okay, so remember, our public records not only covers information about properties, it also covers information on licensees and businesses. Okay, so that's under search. And these other ones we will take a look at in other classes like open house or like the roster class, or of course searching for listings class. Contacts is an address book that we will show you how to use when you take the prospects class from us. Listings is where you enter your listings, where you post your photos, your tours and things like that. We have a whole class, takes 90 minutes on how to enter and manage your listings. The market menu. Okay, so this is kind of fun. Market IQ. So under market menu and under market IQ, you can pull up sales. You can pull up, basically this is production levels. Let's see what people have done so far this year in sales. Whoops, I put the right year. Okay, and I'm going to leave it as of today. So from January 1st through today, and I'm going to look at the boards for hire and WAR, which is Hawaii Island Realtors and West Hawaii Association of Realtors. Or I could do all agents. And let's just look at residential sales, and let's just look in 3-7. So in other words, if an agent from another county comes and sells property in 3-7, it would show their sale as well. And yes, you can do that. You have a license to sell in the state of Hawaii. However, your broker may or may not let you go somewhere else and sell. So anyway, I'm going to leave all the other options just as they are now. But you can see you can narrow it down by subtypes, etc. So when I click Search Now, we're going to get a Market IQ report back. This is really awesome. It tells you at the top what it is that you're searching on. It tells you who had the listing that sold. Here it tells you who represented the buyer on the buyer side of the sale. And then this is total volume. So Kukio Properties is in the lead so far this year for residential sales in 3-7 at 23.2 million. Okay, they only represent a little bit less than 8% of the dollar amount, but they have the total. And as you can see, that 23.2 million only encompasses 4 transactions. 4 transactions. All right. So if you want to see what the transactions were, you just simply click on the total. So either the listing total or the selling total, and it'll come back and give you the properties that encompass that total amount. Let's look at something a little lower dollar range. Let me move down a little bit here. So let's see. Here's kind of a busier company here with 6 transactions and 4 of their listings sold, and here they are. 4 listings sold this year. Alrighty. And as you can see down below, you can copy and paste somewhere else. You can print, you can email, you can put it in the basket. You can create a PDF file document out of what you see here. Okay, those are your choices. And we will play around with those in the Basics of Searching class a lot more. Okay, all the way down to the very bottom where we have one sale represented here. And it is a Honolulu agent, Keller Williams Honolulu. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and click Modify. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to just quickly show you. You can also spread this out by agent if you want to see who the top hitting agents are. And it breaks it down the same way. What listing sold, what buyer, where they represented the buyer in a sale. Sometimes they're the same, like these. It looks like he listed it and he sold it, right, under the same agent's name. Okay, now, if you're lucky enough to be in the top 20 of whatever search criteria you put in, your name would appear on this graph, and it would appear in red. Red, bright red, so that you could print it off and then close it in your portfolio or whatever it is that you share, your listing presentation or whatever. Okay, that's everything under Market IQ. Market statistics are published statistics, and let's just pull them up for April of 2017 for Hawaii Island. They're very detailed, and a lot of people like these. This is the classic view. It breaks it down by type of property sold. These are the sales, okay? These are number of transactions sold. In the month of April 2016, there were 196 residential sales. This April, there were 212. That is an 8% increase in the number of transactions of residential sales year over year. These are year-to-dates. So January through April 2016, January through April 2017, and then whatever the increase or decrease might be here. Then it's broken down not only by the entire island for residential, vacant land, commercial, condo, business, it's also broken down by individual district. So you can get a better handle on your areas where you cover. So let's see. Let's go down to the next report. There's 3 reports on here. The first one was the number of sale transactions. This one is the sales volume. Okay, the total sales volume, $110,011,150 in sales for the month of April last year. The month of April this year is about 10,000 more, 10 million more, which is almost a 10% increase, okay? Year-to-dates are showing up here. When you look at year-to-date, it's actually a decrease. Kind of strange. These are statistics, so this is how statistics work. And then, of course, you can break it down by type of sale and then by your different districts. Finally, the third report, median sales price. So that's the mid price, okay, mid price. So when you look at residential mid price, April 341.5, let's look at for North Kona. It's not 341.5, it's 652.5. And then come down to Ka'u, 187, okay? So it's big variety there. All right, so you can play around with market statistics, the classic view. You can pull it from the Big Island or Kauai, and you can go to any month or quarter or annual if you do December, going all the way back to 1992. So have fun with that. Market statistics, the new version. This is the millennial version. This is what I like to call it because it's a lot easier. It's graphical, and you can look at a 12-month summary, which we're looking at now, monthly comparisons, nice bar charts, you know, a lot more simple to extract information. Not as detailed though, not as detailed. Okay, so there you go. That's market statistics new. Infographic. It only changes by the month, but you can print these off and hand them out for the month, you know, as you go make your way through the month of May. And then when May is done, then in June you can start handing out May's statistics. Okay? Median sales price for a couple of different types of properties, land, condos, and single family, as well as listings. Okay? Listing information. All right, and then subdivision list. We have about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to go faster now. Let's look at subdivisions on Hawaii Island, sorting them by tax key or alphabetically, either including or not including the parcel detail. So I'm going to sort this alphabetically, and I'm going to want to see all the tax map keys that these subdivisions cover. So you can see some of them are really covering a lot. Okay, let's go to Hawaiian Shores. Hawaiian Shores Recreational Estates. Pages of them. Not so much. Okay, some of these cover a lot of pages, though. Expand. Okay, so this is, if you want to print it, you can print it. It's a lot of pages long. Let's see. This one is, oh, they used to have the page numbers at the top. It was about 40 pages. Okay, or you can go ahead and go back and reset and do a text key number sort. And now when you click search now, it's sorting them by text key number. So zone 1, then there'll be zone 2, zone 3, etc. Okay? So that is all under subdivision list. Real estate news takes you to Inman News Report website. Economic reports, there's a few economic reports you can click on. Most of them are really old. market menu. So basically, what we just covered are these items here, and it's also displayed on the market menu for you. This is a menu of items for appraisers to use. These are tools for appraisers, okay? Appraisers right here. The next item is RE tools. The only thing I want to show you on here is change my password, okay? So if you want to change your password, this is where you go. Under RE tools, and then change password. Put in your new password twice and click save, and you're done. Okay, let me go back to the tools menu, and you already know how to get into your settings from the big button menu. The same thing with the profile. Big button menu takes you to your profile. This is where you change your password. This is where you can see our upcoming training classes. You can also directly link to that right here. Training. Here's the training classes. To register for a training class, click the blue link for register. And let's go back to tools, and I want to show you one more thing, and then we're POW. And that is the research loan calculator. So I am going to go over a minute or two. If you have to leave, please exit at any time in Mahalo. If you don't have to leave, I'm only be here for another minute, so just hold tight. Loan amount, okay? Watch what happens to the monthly payment on the right. $300,000 loan, 4.25% interest, 30-year term, and you can see it's changing the monthly payment. Well, what happens if I go for 15 years? Okay, wow, the payment really jumped up. Okay, let's go back to 30. Let's adjust that interest. Maybe I'm going to buy down some points. Okay, there we go, 4%. There's my monthly payment. You can look at a payment schedule. Monthly, and let's make our payment schedule start in July and go out for 10 years. And then compute. And down below is our payment schedule, and at the end of each year, it will total up the, it'll give you the outstanding balance, the amount of principal paid, and the amount of interest paid for the year. Okay? Payments 7 through number 18 will encompass the year of 2018, where I will have paid out almost $12,000 in interest and only $5,000 on my principal amount. Okay, good way to educate a new buyer on how that works with the amortization schedule that you see here. I've also used them in seller financing transactions as well. I love the amortization schedule here that you can print off, copy, put it in a PDF, etc. Okay, folks, I'm going to hang out for another minute or two for anyone who has a question. Otherwise, you can exit the webinar at any time. Sorry I took you over a couple minutes. Mahalo for attending, and I hope you learned something. Go back and share it with people in your office. Let them know how to do some of the things like add the logo and the headshot. So if you have any questions, please enter them now or raise your hand, because I'll hang out for another couple minutes. And if not, you can exit at any time. Again, mahalo. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for attending our webinars. Come back. If we went too fast or if you need to review, you can come back, and there will also be a link to this webinar. Thanks to Jerry reminding me to do that. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to go mute right now, but I'm hanging out for another minute or two. Thanks, everyone. Aloha.